My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And I'm not a Mario person. I own a PlayStation, so I can't play any Nintendo games, but I still went in with decent expectations despite the fact it's an Illumination movie. I mean, the poster for this movie looked great, the second trailer looked like a lot of fun. So I had expectations for this movie, and I can't help but be disappointed by just how bland and how forgettable this movie is. I saw it a few hours ago, and I'm already starting to forget almost everything. But let's begin talking about what I did like. And the score by Brian Tyler is pretty decent. I actually do find him to be an underrated composer. He hasn't made lots of great scores, but his music for Iron Man 3 and Thor 2 are very good and very underrated. But he does a good job here bringing in the music from the video games. My brother, who loves Nintendo, recognized a bunch of different tracks, so I think that's pretty cool. The animation is very good. It's very bright, it's very colorful, and it brings this world to life in a visually pleasing manner. And there are some decent moments. The scene of Mario and Toad going to the castle is maybe my favorite sequence in the entire movie. It just has that energy, that feel to it that you wanted throughout the entire thing. The scene on Rainbow Road was really exciting. And there was one scene in the last act with Mario and Donkey Kong, which I also really enjoyed. And I think the cast does a pretty fine job. Nobody's terrible, nobody's great, everyone's consistently fine. The big question is, does Chris Pratt pull it off? And I'm not going to say it's an incredible, life-changing performance, but he does well enough. Anya Taylor-Joy, who I love, does fine enough. Jack Black does fine enough. Charlie Day does fine enough. Seth Rogen, fine enough. Keegan-Michael Key, fine enough. So, pretty consistent across the board. But man, this movie script is just as boring as it gets. It is so thinly plotted, and there's just almost nothing to it. I didn't like some of the way they approached these characters. Like Bowser's big plan to marry Peach. I guess it's accurate to the games, but it's something I didn't care for here. Peach being this flawless hero didn't really work for me. There was a moment in the last act where you think that she might be in a tough situation, but nope, she gets out of it with ease. And just the characters in general are all very bland and forgettable. Like Mario, the main guy, is just uninteresting. If you asked me to describe him, I would say that his father is disappointed in him and he doesn't give up. That's it. Like, he just doesn't have enough personality, he doesn't have enough depth. He's just a very bland lead, and considering how popular this character is, I should have liked him more. This movie has zero weight to anything that happens. The movie has zero emotion. It has zero thematic relevance. And just every relationship is just lacking. Like Mario and Luigi's brother relationship is supposed to be the emotional core of this movie, but I couldn't care less about these two. I didn't care about the expectations Mario parents have of him. That didn't work for me. I didn't care about the romance that forms between Mario and Peach. I didn't buy the friendship between the Peach and Toad. So just much of these characters and their relationships I just didn't care about. Anything that happened, I'm like, couldn't really care less. And it's nice to get a movie that's short and breezy. It's only 90 minutes long, and it definitely needed more time to breathe. Like Mario gets to Mushroom Kingdom and it just keeps moving like this, and it's just like, stop, cool down. Just let us take it all in. Introduce us to this world. Showcase it. But it's like always like go, 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 go. And I just feel like that really hurt the world building on display. The last act didn't work for me at all. The victory of the heroes just isn't satisfying. Like, you take a movie like Kung Fu Panda, well, there's no secret ingredient. Paul had to train and be better, but he had it in him all this time. And this movie just takes the opposite, the more what's the word without spoiling it? It takes a terrible direction, I'll say that. The jokes in this movie are not funny. That is when you feel like it's definitely a kid's movie. There's two jokes that I was just like, okay, but that's it. There was one character who's this star who's looks all cute and adorable but says very morbid stuff, and this type of character has just been ran into the ground. It's not fresh, it's not new, it's been done before, just stop it. The soundtrack in this movie is awful. It is every cliche music choice you would expect, and look, I think some laws need to be made. I love Shrek 2 so very much, and no movie is ever going to use the Bonnie Tyler song, Holding Out for a Hero, a fraction as good as that movie does. So just stop trying. It was literally just in Shazam 2 a couple of weeks ago. I didn't watch it last week, but apparently it's also in Tetris. So that's 3 movies it's in like 1 month. Unacceptable. It was in Euphoria last year. It was in Loki in 2021. It's just too much. Look, I love the song. Bonnie Tyler's great. Enough. I never want to hear this song in a movie again. I just don't. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. It's just a movie that did really nothing for me. It's got some decent moments here and there. Nice animation, some nice musical score. The cast does a fine job, and the kids will like it. It's geared towards them, and I think it plays up to its audience, but don't we deserve better? You know, Pixar, when they were at the top of their game, made movies that kids loved, but also adults got something out of it as well. Finding Nemo and Marlin's desperate search to find Nemo, and just how much weight that had. Or Toy Story 2 and the way it explores immortality and how you want to spend your life. Or How to Train Your Dragon and just family expectations and becoming your own person. Oh, just so many other movies are accessible to kids, but they have great characters, they have emotion, they have thematic depths. And this movie just doesn't even try. There's no grand theme of this movie. There is no emotion. The characters are as bland and as forgettable as they come. The story is just non-existent pretty much. The world building falls short. So it's just like, what is there to really get from this movie? And it's not a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Super Mario Bros. Movie a 4 out of 10. One thing I do want to mention that could be considered to be a spoiler, so heads up, but during the Rainbow World sequence, there's a moment where the world gets destroyed and Peach has to save someone. But then all the vehicles behind him made it across safely, But that happens again later, and then they get stopped at where the world breaks. Just some inconsistency unless I missed something. Also, hot take, if you saw my review for the original Mario movie from the 90s, I actually prefer that movie over this one, so... But what are your thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon. And Gavin, out.